Hey, good day everyone. This is actually a very important video because I realized I had an oversight as to when we had calculated 7 times 8, how did I know the answer would have 2 digits? And when I calculated 96 by 97, how I knew the answer would have been 4 digits. Well, how I knew it was because of the reference number, and I actually failed to show the importance of the reference number in the other two slides. So we actually will be going through how we use the reference number to find out how much digits there are in the final answer. So using the previous example, such as 7 times 8, we use 10 as a reference number. That's because 10 is the closest reference number we have for 7 and 8. You would have also realized, by the way, that we will be using numbers that are not very far from the reference number. The reason being, the further away you move from the reference number, the more complex the calculations get. So, for example, like with the previous example with 96 by 97, when we did that calculation, we used 100, so 96 and 97 are very close to 100. But let's say we had to calculate 67 by 78. Those two numbers are actually very far from 100, and there are actual extra steps involved in doing those sort of calculations. So, for the sake of everyone understanding what it is you have to do and understanding the whole concept, we're going to stick to numbers that are very close to the reference number. Right, so that was just a side note. Right, so using 7 times 8 and 10 as a reference number, and using the previous steps in the first video, so we draw two circles under the numbers and we subtract the numbers from the reference number, which is 10 in this case. Right, so 7 from 10 is 3, 8 from 10 is 2. So sum by 8 will give some number. Right, how it is we get the first number? Well, we minus the numbers in the circles diagonally from the number above. So that will be 7 minus 2 and 8, or 8 minus 3, which will give you 5. But how do you know it's not 5 or 50 or 500 or 5,000? Well, we simply take the 5 and multiply it by the reference number, 10, to give 50. So 50 will actually be your subtotal, right? So that means that you actually have 50 and you have to add a number to 50 to actually get the final answer. And what will that extra digit to add to 50 be? Is simply look at the numbers in the circles and multiply it and add it to the subtotal. So 3 by 2 is 6. So the question actually turns into 50 plus 6, which will give 56. So 7 times 8 is 56. Because we use the 96 by 97 concept, same thing, using 100 as a reference number, drawing the circles below and subtracting from the reference number. So 96 from 100 is 4, 97 from 100 is 3. Right, how does we find at least the first part of the answer? We subtract the numbers in the circles from numbers diagonally above it. So that'll be 96 from, 3 from 96 and 97 minus 4. Both of them will give you 93. Right? But how do we know that is not 93 or 930 or 9,300 or 93,000? Well, simple. We take 93 and we multiply it by the reference number 100, so you get 9300. So 9300 will be the subtotal, which means we have to find another number to add to the subtotal of 93, and that other number will be found in the multiplication of the numbers in the circles. So right, so using the numbers in the circles, we multiply them. So 4 by 3 will give you 12. So the answer will actually be 9300 plus 12, which will give you 9312. So 96 by 97 will give 9312, or 9312, or 931. So I hope this actually explains how you know how much digits there are in the final result. And actually I'm going to start using this way of explaining the questions rather than assuming you know the length of the final answer. Right, so I hope it clears up a lot.